Hola, cinephiles. My name's Jordan. I think you already know that. But anyways, we got another episode of Flick of the Week. This time we're talking about The 33. It's about the Chilean coal miners, or gold miners, or whatever the miners. I'm about to go see that movie right now, actually, after I post this episode. So while you're listening to it, I'll probably be bawling my eyes out. But anyways, we were supposed to talk about By the Sea, the new Brangelina flick, but looks like I couldn't find anywhere in the world to see it in the last few days, so we ended up talking about My All-American. So hang on, because this episode is a doozy.
Wait, let me explain something to you. I'm the dude.
Which one is it?
It's the one that said bad motherfucker.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
We're sending you back to the future.
Welcome to the show. Nick,
Yep.
what do you got to say?
Hi.
Well, we're off to a great start.
Yep.
Today we're talking about The 33, and we were supposed to talk about By the Sea.
But
It's, unfortunately, I couldn't find a frickin' showing anywhere in the state.
sorry, folks. Can't give you an opinion if we can't watch the movie.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that I went to, I on Google, if I Googled it, particularly where we are in Phoenix, Arizona, I Googled it, and it was like, oh yeah, well, there's this theater. Well, the Google doesn't have a sense of humor like this, but Google was like, oh yeah, we got this is theater down in, in Paradise Valley
You
called
cartoon
Esplanade.
character, you Google.
Yeah, you googly. But Google said that Esplanade 14 in Paradise Valley is going to play it.
Nope.
I was like, so I went to their website to see, because it's a dine-in theater. I'm like, how much is this going to cost me? I went to their website, and then they say that they're not playing it, but Google says they're playing it. So I had to call, and the lady's like, yeah, we're not playing it.
You know,
So-
I got screwed too. It wasn't. Remember, I told you I thought it was my mistake for seeing the 33. I was gonna go to like a 1 o'clock. Or no, I was gonna go to a 1:40 showing, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, that was at 1:10." And I was like, "Oh, did I screw it up?" And I look on the website, it was at 1:40. That's what they listed it as.
Man.
So I was like, "You jackasses! Now I gotta wait like 3 hours before the next one."
It's like the movie gods just didn't want us to see these movies.
But we saw them anyway. What
Actually,
movie?
yes, back on subject. I didn't get to see By the Sea, which I was kind of excited about, even if it was going to be a bad movie. I like the Brangelina, but I ended up seeing My All-American. It's a what's his
Football
name?
movie.
Football movie with Aaron Eckhart.
Eckhart.
Eckert?
Eckhart.
Eckhart.
He always looks like he just like farted at all times.
It's like inquisitive fart.
It's like discerning.
And then also starring Mr. Fake Name,
Oh,
Finn
it's
Whitrock.
got Robin Tooney from Empire Records.
Is that... Who is
Yeah.
that?
You ever seen that part?
okay.
She shaves her head in that movie?
Yeah.
What a great
Yeah,
actress.
she is a terrible part in this movie.
Really?
But anyways,
Ah, boo.
I saw My All-American, but we're going to get into that in a moment. I want to start the show, even though we've clearly already started the show, by saying, what have you been watching this week, Nick?
Because you were talking about Christopher Nolan last week. What's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie besides Batman?
Inception.
Okay. Mine is The Prestige.
That is good, though.
I like
Prestige.
Memento, too. It's like a real hard... It's like a tough decision, but I like The Prestige. I like it because not only is like the magic trick in 3 acts, but the whole movie is just like the magic trick that they describe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so cool.
It makes me wonder, like, how can you even have a intellectual conversation with Christopher Nolan, because he's like unraveling these intense mysteries, probably in his life too. He's just
You know, I heard that like with Memento that him and Guy Pearce were having like a dinner like not that long ago, and they were still trying to figure out what happened in the movie. So he's just filming it, to the best of his ability. But I don't think it's his story. So he just, he makes the movie that he wants, and it's not all. I don't think it has to be completely played out in his head. With like, maybe it shouldn't be when it's like that big of a mystery, that big of a puzzle of a movie.
Yeah.
And The Prestige was, I mean, I think that mystery ending, like, nobody saw that coming. Like, it was just so far out of the realm of what that movie was that it became so supernatural like that, and I never thought it would go that far.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were trying to show that, these magic tricks were, like, not really magic, like, the whole movie. And then something actually magical happens, and, yeah, I can't get over that for some reason.
Well, what's funny is another one of those tragic cases of, like, Hollywood, like, doing espionage on itself, and they put out, like, the same movie twice in that year. The Prestige came out the same time as The Illusionist.
Yeah.
And The Illusionist was dumb.
Yeah, and Illusionist didn't even go to theaters, I don't think. I do remember that.
I thought it did, though.
Not that many.
I don't know, but
I remember renting that and then not liking it.
Mm-hmm. But, I watched The Others.
Ooh.
Which, was that on your list of something? Your Halloween list? Or?
No, it wasn't, but I think we were talking about it. It's, at the time, that was, like, the biggest, like, suspense movie.
Really?
Yeah, so many people were, like, copying what she said. Remember, like, they did a whole spoof in Scary Movie, and she's like, I am your daughter, and, like, underneath it was, like, Michael Jackson. It was, like, a big thing at the time. People were like, oh, you have to watch this movie. You won't believe it.
That's
Holy
funny.
shit.
Okay, so I guess when I was watching it with my girlfriend, I was like, I feel like I've seen this scene with the girl under the...
Have you never seen the movie before?
No, I've never seen the others.
Oh, wow.
That was my first time.
Yeah.
And but the majority of it, I'm like... I mean, I hate to say this, but I totally saw this whole thing coming. I'm like, they're the ghosts! Sorry, spoilers. I mean, that movie came out in 2002, but dude, they were the ghosts the whole time.
I heard that Tom Cruise was like a ghost producer on it because he was going out with her at the time. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because I don't remember seeing him listed anywhere in the credits. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
It's like
very low budget,
Really?
Think about it. How much money could they possibly spent on that movie?
Well, it was a big ass house, and then it was
you borrow that from some producer, and you're done.
Yeah, it was a good movie though. It was very well done, and especially just, but it just was weird that I don't know. I feel like it was too easy. I was like, oh, I totally get this. I know where this plot is going. But Ella was like, she's like, there's no way you would know that. You've seen the movie before. And I'm like, no.
This was a long time ago when I first watched it, though.
Oh my god, my shirt's inside out.
Whoa.
I'm having a bad day.
Have you seen this thing where Shia LaBeouf is watching all of his movies and making a movie about him watching all of his movies? And he's getting, like, emotional. You fucking know what's going to happen. You were in the movie. What?
Do you, though? Because actually, I
You're
gotta
telling
argue
me
that
he's
fact.
like, Optimus, please. Like, that's bullshit, dude. Get out of here.
Well, just here's the thing.
I don't know how the hell he got through Nymphomaniac. Like, that's like a 4-hour movie.
I only skimmed Volume 1 recently, and I was just like, this is fucking weird.
It's a good art movie, though.
Is it?
I thought so, too. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And then by the end of it, you're like, wow, what a great movie.
Really?
Like, it is, like, the movie.
Interesting.
Like, it's hard to top that kind of fucking film. I don't know,
man.
But I heard that Shia LaBeouf got that part by sending Lars von Trier a sex tape of him and his girlfriend.
What the fuck?
I know, right? Shia LaBeouf is just a weirdo.
He's weird.
I would not want to hang out with that guy.
Running for your life from
Just do it!
LaBeouf.
Just do it!
We both made, like, pop culture references just now at the same exact moment. Have you seen that video that actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
I think so.
It's like this live performance. I guess it was another video
Yeah.
prior. But it's
Like, what the
hilarious. Like dudes with big Shia LaBeouf heads, like ballet dancing, ballerina. I don't know.
So
great.
strange, that man. Even Steven, like, relax, all right?
Take a chill pill, Shia LaBeouf.
Like, that Hollywood is just screwed with that guy. Holy crap.
Yeah. Well,
Like, what the heck happened? What could he... Like, he's done Transformers, Constantine, and Holes. Like, what? How did you become such a weirdo?
I think it was the trigger that flipped in his head, the switch that flipped in his brain was when he had to swing with the monkeys in Crystal Skull.
Maybe...
He's just like, what the fuck am I doing in Hollywood?
Maybe he thinks he's still there. I don't know. So strange.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways.
should we flip a coin?
All right, so we're going to flip a coin, to talk about My All-American or the 33. And maybe we'll voice our little opinions about By the Sea, but neither of us have seen it, so...
All I know is Angelina Jolie made... Has she directed 2 movies in a row now?
She did Unbroken. And
Did she do anything in between? I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
But, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that until we get to that, but...
All right.
To tie these two together, though, I didn't choose My All-American completely randomly, because... well, it was actually suggested by you son of a bitch.
Well, it was the only other preview I saw, like, on TV for a movie this week.
Yeah. But My All-American is starring Flynn Whitrock.
Oh, from her other movie.
Whitrock. Yeah, he was in Unbroken.
That's right.
So, it's not completely random, but it is pretty completely random. So, anyways, we're going to flip the coin. So, listen for the ding.
Wait, which one was which?
I don't know. What do you want?
So, heads will be the 33.
Okay.
Tails.
This is Tails with
I thought it was.
The stain. I forget.
the lunch lady mole.
Okay, the lunch lady mole is Tails, so we're going My All-American.
All right.
All right, that's fine with me because I want to get through this.
So this was directed by the writer of Hoosiers and Rudy.
Yes.
So it should be an awesome sports movie, right?
Should be.
Uh-oh.
But all I gotta, I'm gonna set you guys up for this train wreck of a description of a movie.
What is this about? Is this about the NFL or no?
It's no, it's about college ball.
College.
But it's about it's a famous true story about Freddie Steinmark. He's a college football player he's just like the same, like they painted the picture of the same character as Rudy.
Wait, it was about the football player? I thought it was about the coach.
No, the only reason that the cover of the movie has Aaron Eckhart in it is because he's the only one who holds any weight in this movie.
Like in the trailer, it made it seem like it was about like a coach's struggle.
It's his story because it's from the point of view of the coach, kind of. But it's totally... Here's what I think happened. I think some producer, because this is made by like some small company, it's not a big production company. I forget who did it. Yeah, Anthem Productions and Paul Schiff Productions.
Oh, yeah.
But one of these guys was sitting around one day watching Netflix recently, and they were like, oh, man, Rudy's a great movie. And then they called, Angelo Pizzo, and they're like, hey, we want to make Rudy again. So this is what this is. It's Rudy again.
It's about like a short guy trying
It's about a guy who's short and small in stature.
Really?
Same fucking Rudy haircut.
Oh my god.
Trying to get in teams, get into football. He wanted to play for like Colorado State or something instead of Notre Dame. So it was already, I mean, it's a true story. So
was he working in a mine?
No.
Here's
the problem. Here's the problem with this one is Rudy's great because he like triumphed through a lot of obstacles in his life.
Were the swingers guys in it?
Yes, they were.
Awesome.
No, they
weren't.
But no, this guy, Freddie Steinmark, the whole first hour and 20 minutes of the movie is just cheeseball. Cheeseball. He's this perfect all-American kid. And and he lives in Colorado. He's the most popular kid in school. He had a hard time getting to prove himself in high school football because he's little, but now he's a fucking team captain, and he's just the shit. Everyone loves him. There's no obstacles, no problems in his life. The only problem is that his dad wants to live vicariously through him, so he's trying to get him a scholarship, and he's like, Dad, it's okay, I just want to play football. But he finally gets the call to go play for Texas.
Does
and then
the team like put down all their jerseys and like, if my All-American doesn't play, I ain't playing. That doesn't happen?
Here's what the movie's about, and this isn't just, it's a true story, and it's a big famous story if you're from Texas. This is the only reason I hate to bash on it. If there's a bunch of people in Texas that are listening to this, they're going to hate me, but...
Burn them! Don't make fun of football in Texas.
The only reason this movie has a 6.7 review on IMDb is because Texas is so big, and it's full of people that are like, fuck yeah, Longhorns, Freddie Steinmark. Like, but no, this movie's not good for the rest of the country. Only for Texans. It's a total Texas movie. It's called My All-American. It's about the Texas Longhorns.
I've never seen any, like...
The cover's red, white, and blue. Look at this color scheme.
Any region of the United States that loves college ball more than Texas.
Their freaking arena, the Longhorns arena is like bigger than most like NFL teams' arenas.
That's nuts.
It's insane. But anyways, this whole cheese ball thing, like the girl, like he meets in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, he meets his high school sweetheart. And he's like, "You want to go on a date?" And then, well, that's not what he sounds like at all. But she's like,
they all have Texas accents?
They're in Colorado, but they magically have Texas accents.
Does Aaron Eckhart have a Texas accent?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
wow.
the Texas. He's the coach.
This can't be good.
but anyways, the cheese ball part that I was just shaking my head. I'm like, am I gonna walk out of this movie? Is he gets accepted to go to Texas, and then he comes back to Colorado, hangs out with his girlfriend, and they're sitting on the lookout point, classic 60s movie style, like sitting on the hood of their 57 Chevy, and he's like, I got accepted to go to college, and then she's like,
I'm gonna have to leave you.
but no, it's opposite. That's more realistic. But she was like, well, I'm coming with you because I got accepted to Texas too.
Oh,
and
what?
so
That
she
never
went with him.
happens.
Yeah, but I was just like, are you fucking serious?
Really?
And then, but here's the thing: this movie waited until about an hour and 25 or 30 minutes into the movie to get good.
But it's only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Wow.
It waited until pretty much the third act to get good. It had a good story because the true story about Freddie Steinmark is that he was an All-American football player in college, and then when he won, he took his team to the championship, national championship, and they won. And like the day after the championship, he went to the doctor to have his knee checked out.
Oh no!
And he had bone cancer.
How do you have bone cancer?
He had to have his leg amputated from the hip.
Oh!
That was the good fucking movie, and I'm like, why did you waste most of the movie on this cheeseball bullshit of a guy who's just snowballing through a perfect life?
Wow.
Like, you could have done that all in Act 1.
They should have started, like, with him with, like, no leg and, like, him kind of, like, remembering his high school days or something like that.
Well, no, here's the thing, is that he only lived, like, a year and a half after he got his leg amputated. Because he, bone cancer, they amputated the tumor, but he still had it in his bones. So, but it's like, it's a sad story, but that should have been the fight of his life, not the fucking championship season in college where he's just like perfect. He's got like abs and he's just got his beautiful girlfriend. And he's like, I'm winning every fucking game because I'm the best. That's not a movie. And it's all sad in the end.
Freddie
and
Steinmark.
Yeah.
What the heck?
But I don't know. I was just like the what do you call it? The structure of this story was all out of whack. You just had happiness and happiness and happiness all the way through to the third act. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got bone cancer, I'm going to lose my leg, and then he dies in a year.
Credits.
Yeah, exactly. It was so intense in the end. I was like, holy shit.
God damn.
But also the biggest, bigger than story problems is they had a really novice director of photography.
Yeah.
So, like, everything, there was some major shots in the movie that were out of focus. Like, this movie played in theaters. I sat in a theater to watch this shit, and I'm watching out of focus Aaron Eckhart just kind of, like, pointing, like, get on the field!
Could it be the film?
No, it was just parts.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't all out of focus. It was just parts. And then also, like, one of the very first shots of the movie is, like you know, typical... a rewrite of the Rudy theme song. It's like, and it's totally like it's those. It's basically a college band like playing at a football game. That's like the whole theme song.
God.
But the first shot is like a aerial shot of the Texas Longhorns stadium, and it kind of pans down and shows the field, and it's like just slightly off-centered to the right. I'm like, how the like. You either go full 45 off-centered or you are straight on. You don't do that in movies. You don't slightly off-centered bullshit. That's just unprofessional. It just looked like poop. Half the movie
it's going to get a lot of OCD people.
Yeah, oh my god.
Move it to the left, god damn it.
That's how I felt about half the movie.
Doesn't sound like you had the flick of the week.
I did.
Writers Jim Dant. Harvey Dent's
Dent.
brother. No wonder. This was a two-faced fucking film.
Yep. But
I haven't seen Robin Tooney in a lot. It's like I saw her in Prison Break and she was good, and she's actually in a lot of good movies, but I haven't seen her in a long time.
How do you... The freaking IMDb, like, settings are so different drastic from the phone to the computer. That,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to look at the credits for the director of photography here.
It's probably under crew or something.
Yeah, how do you get to... There's cast. How do you get to crew? Or is it up here?
Maybe if you go to full cast, it'll give you another option.
This is bullshit!
Writing.
Writing. Oh, fuck. What is this shit? There's a lot of bullshit people that get paid to be in this movie. Okay. Frank DeMarco.
Remember in Kick-Ass? He's like, you know who's responsible? Frank DeMarco. That had to be the same guy.
Look at this.
Oh, he made
All is
Hedwig
lost.
and the Angry Inch. All is Lost. That one movie that was up for an award. Margin Call was good. These are all like small art movies, but they've been up for some big awards.
I don't know. I just think that...
Isn't that the one where Robert Redford doesn't say a damn word and he's just like, whoa, in the storm?
I've never even seen it.
It's I saw it on HBO and it's just like him, an old man. I'm gonna get on my boat. I don't think he says anything the whole movie or something like that. It was like a big, like so many people were like taken aback. Like, what? He doesn't say anything? Robert Redford?
I want to get just before we move on. I want to get back on just a quick subject about cinematography with this. Like, just as a reference, I was watching this like just recently the Back to the Future anniversary of like when he went to the future, like that day just came and went. They released a documentary on IMDb or on Netflix.
Oh, it's called Back in Time or something.
Yeah, it was cool.
I haven't seen it, but
so that documentary was kind of cool, but Robert Zemeckis was on there, and he had said that because everyone claims, a lot of people in the documentary are like, it's the perfect movie. Back to the Future is the perfect movie. And then he kind of was like, it cut to his part, and it was kind of comedic. He's like, by no means is it a perfect movie. But he said...
It's about a kid in the future.
Yeah. he said like one of the biggest things that bothers me is that a couple of shots are just a tad bit out of focus.
Oh, wow.
He said it might be a hair out of focus. But this fucker... I'm talking like a whole 4 feet out of focus with Aaron Eckhart. Like, this is blur. This is straight blur.
Damn
and they put it in the movie.
Frank DeMarco. No wonder you don't have a picture on IMDb.
Yeah.
You don't want to show your
it.
face.
Yeah, well, the only pictures you could get were blurry.
That is his profile picture. That's just how bad of a camera it is.
All right, so that's all I got to say about that. Moving on to the 33. I'm anxious to hear because...
Oh, dude. I think this movie's going to win Best Picture of the Year.
Really?
I do. It was such a good movie, man. I was so sad the whole time.
The whole movie?
The whole, like, except for, like, the beginning, but the beginning doesn't beat around the bush too much. Mm-hmm. It, like, shows you the guys, gives you a little tiny backstory, but it's not even, like, cheesy, you know, like you would think. Like, here's Bob, and here's Bill, and boom, crash. It was, like, really quick. They're talking about their families. It doesn't even really go into, like, their histories too much. It just shows them with their families and how happy they are.
Yeah.
And I think this was the best performance I've seen from Antonio Banderas and Lou Diamond Phillips. And he plays like the foreman, I guess, the main boss of the mine down there.
Yeah.
And then there's like another boss that works in a trailer giving out directions of where to dig and how to dig. And it's his job, Lou Diamond Phillips, to coordinate his team to do what he's got to do. Mm-hmm. But it's got Oscar from The Office in it. And I heard that when they were casting this film, they only wanted actors that spoke both English and Spanish.
Even for the white guys? Or are they...
There wasn't any white guys. It was all Chileans. Well, they're supposed to be Chileans. And the one white guy was... I can't remember his name. If you scroll down a little bit, he plays the president of... James Brolin was the only white guy, but he was supposed to be an American engineer. So he was kind of...
Okay.
But he wasn't in the movie a whole lot. But he plays kind of a pivotal role.
Is that Josh Brolin's brother?
That's his dad.
That's his dad?
Yeah. Keep going.
That's it.
I can't... Remember the guy from Shawshank Redemption, the warden?
Yeah.
He shoots himself in I can't remember his name, but he played the president of Chile, and they made him look like a real asshole.
Yeah.
They made him look like so opportunistic.
He never plays like a good person.
But he has... Yeah, I know, and you would think so, like using his like voice, he has like such a... But he has a Chilean accent in this movie. And he said like this was... I guess he said that this was like the hardest role for him, because he didn't want to screw that up, especially for a true story like this. Mm-hmm. But, so it's about, like, these 33 miners. It's a private mine. It's not, like, something... It's like a private contracted thing. So... Mm-hmm. And they're all getting paid, like, jack shit. They get paid, like, 10 grand a year or something like that. And apparently, after this whole thing, not one person was compensated by the company that caused this.
Wow. So they just got out?
Well, what they did was they... Like... So they were down there for 16 days with 3 days worth of food for 33 people. Mm-hmm. And they had like cookies and tuna and water. That's all they had. Mm-hmm. And once the cookies were done, they would take a spoonful of tuna and water, and that was their food. And they would do that every other day for 16 days. I don't know if this really happened or not. I wish I could read the book. The cool thing is, because of the book and the movie, these people actually got what they deserved money-wise. Mm-hmm. You know? But without the book and the movie, they'd probably still be like poor miners, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they were treated so shitty. It has the guy who plays Xerxes in 300. He's a really good actor. He was in that Red Belt movie I was telling you to watch.
Did you say 16 days or 69 days?
No, I said 16. Hold on, I'm going to get there, though. Yeah. So, yeah, he plays, like, this government kind of guy, and this is definitely, like, his breakout role, I think. His name's Rodrigo Santoro. He plays Xerxes in,
Yeah.
He's been in a few movies.
He has. He's good.
He was in Focus, at the end. Let's see. So... Lou Diamond Phillips, like, takes, like, this glass-like thing, and he's like, look, we put these minerals in the mine, and because they're falling out, we know that the rock is shifting in there, so we can't dig anymore. And the boss up there is like, fuck that, you guys gotta dig 250 tons a week. And he's like, what? Are you gonna up our quota instead of taking us out after what I just showed you? And, he's like, look, dude, either that or, hit the bricks and you guys will be poor. So, I wonder if that really happened, though, because in that dumb Pearl Harbor movie, Dan Aykroyd's like, well, if it was me, I would attack Pearl Harbor. That fucking never happened in real life. Never was there one person that ever said that. So, it makes me wonder, like, was that really? I have to read the book to see if that's in there, because... it just seemed like it was like foreshadowing, like something's gonna happen. So they go down there and they're at like the bottom of the whole thing, so far down, and like it just collapses, and like all but one guy. It shows like the driver dying, the guy that drives them all the way down. They never talk about that guy at the end of the movie. But yeah, I guess all 33 miners that were working got trapped, and they're in this place called the Refuge, which is like pretty much a place for like if you get sick or hurt, or it's like 100 degrees down there, by the way, like 90 degrees at like the lowest, and humid. And they go to this place called the Refuge, and it's just like a big room with like medical supplies and stuff like that. And luckily, they made it there. Like everything collapsed in front of it, but they had no way of. Like the radio was broken, and there's like these ladders that are like dug out holes that go all the way to the top. But like Antonio Banderas like climbs the ladder. He's like, these fucking assholes, they never finished the ladders. That's how little they wanted to spend on this mine. It was just totally like capitalists like using Nike factory workers pretty much to do their dirty work, and like now they're facing like imminent death.
Oh my god.
It was like the most harrowing film I've ever seen. It reminded me a lot of 127 Hours.
Yeah.
And Antonio Banderas kind of like becomes like the group leader of the people. He's smart. He's like, we got a ration. We'll make it out. Like, you know, I don't care. Like if I want to give us every chance to like make it out of here. And so they go 16 days on that 3 days of food. And then oh, by the way, the first 3 days, nobody fucking looked for him. They were hoping that everybody would forget and these 33 people would just die and, like, nobody would notice. They sweep it under the rug.
The first what days?
First 3 days. Nobody looked for him. And then the families were at the gate. They're like, did you think we forgot? We know they're in there. What the fuck? You thought, like, nobody would say anything? You guys are a bunch of fucking idiots. So then the Chilean government had to get into it. And the president's like, you know, he sends his Xerxes down there. He's like, take care of the situation, would you? So then they get Gabriel Byrne, and he was like a really smart engineer, and they got a drill. He's like, I want all the drills you got. Give me every single drill, man and woman, up here. And so they got like 10 drills, and the drill is like just a big pipe with a bit at the end of it, you know. And he's like, look, like they're so far down there that we have to play a guessing game. We can't, like, there's no like me pointing it and it'll go straight to that spot, because it was like something that was like 3 times as hard as graphite or granite down there. That was the rock. He's like, the drill's gonna deviate, it'll go straight and it'll turn into like a horseshoe at some point.
Wow.
So we have to just keep like doing that and waste all these drills and hope we get lucky.
Wow.
And so like they're all about to quit. The families are like doing a funeral for him. They're like, they're gonna quit. They're gonna leave our friends and family dying. Meanwhile, all those guys are like so skinny at this point. They're drinking like a shot of milk a day. But they're becoming like brothers, and they, more than ever at this time, they all want to get through this together, and they never stopped. I mean, they did have their doubts, but they never stopped believing. And then they're like, well, instead of like calculating where the drill will go, why don't we just say fuck it and just like aim to miss, you know? Because then it seems like we'll get luckier that way. And then like they finally do, and they hit it. But that wasn't the end of their problems, though. So now they've pretty much just drilled a tiny hole to get them food and water down there. And they had starved for so long that they had to give them like liquid food because their stomachs couldn't handle solid food. And so this is where, so it's 69 days in total, but the first 16 they were the worst, and then the rest they were just stuck down there. And they called a Canadian drill over there to try and like make a man-sized hole all the way down there. And they called an American engineer, which was James Brolin's part. So now like these people are becoming like the famous men in Chile, and they're getting like everything sent down to them, but they're still in this freaking cave for like what, 2 months or something.
Wait a second. So I got a couple questions of this. So when Antonio Banderas like climbs up this ladder to this escape hatch, and he finds that that they didn't finish the ladder.
Yeah, like I guess you're just supposed to assume that like there's still like 100 meters to go.
But it's a man-sized hole that goes to the surface, right?
Yeah, but there's like no scaling it or anything. It's just
if there's already a hole that's dug, why didn't the guys that were trying to get down to him didn't go over to that hole and just like feed a rope?
You know, I'm guessing that. That was the thing though. They never finished digging. That's right.
Oh, so he reached a dead end.
I'm guessing that they made the ladder from below instead of at the surface. And, like, you just see the end of the ladder, and they're like, what the fuck? And there's, like, a little bit of hole left, and I'm assuming that they were supposed to make more ladder and keep digging till they got to the surface and make their own ladders. But, like, nobody wanted to spend any money on making this safe. They just wanted, it was like a gold mine or something like that. He's like, there's only so much gold in the mountain. Like, why can't we just do it safe and find another mine? You know, make another mine, something that's not going to break. And something like the size of 2 Empire State Buildings worth of rock, like, crashed down.
Yeah.
And it blocked every entrance and exit. So it was pretty crazy.
Is it ruining the movie if you went as far as to explain how they finally got them out?
No, I mean, I feel like this movie is all public knowledge at this point, and if you watch the news, you already knew. But it sucked because, like, the drills kept breaking, and they're like, at this point, the whole world is watching, and the Chile president, he's like, look, my administration, like, depends on these people getting out. If we got this far, and then they all die, like, no fucking way, dude. You have to get them out of here. I don't want to look bad.
Was there any form of communication down there? Like, did they have...
Once they dug the hole, they created some sort of Skype thing, and for 8 minutes, each family member would talk to their family every day.
The thing I'm curious, though, is how did they know, if they were just drilling into the dark, so to speak, like, how did they know when they reached the people?
I always wondered that too, and it shows the first drill, the tiny one, and they were like, we think we got, because eventually, like, it stops hitting anything, like, the drill doesn't grind anymore. If it hits like a pocket, you know. And at first, they knew they hit a pocket, and they're like, they're listening, and the guys are banging on the drill with, like, sticks, and it vibrates all the way up. And he's like, well, it could be rocks falling on it. But then they had spray paint down there, and they painted the drill. They pulled it up, and they wrote, like, a note on it. And they're like, we're here, jackasses, you fucking cunts, god damn it.
Wow.
And then they had to take this giant drill, and, like, eventually they take, like, pretty much like a little capsule that'll fit a man. And but the thing is, like, they had to create an explosion from their end, the miner's end, to clear the debris, because there was, like, some beam blocking the way. And that explosion, that, like, if we don't get everybody out now, there's a very good chance that, like, nobody will make it. Like, we've come this far, but if this shaft collapses, they're not going to try to make another shaft again. Like,
wow.
There's no way. There won't be enough time to do it. You'll all just die.
Wow.
And he's like, so you guys got to pick, because the first guy, he's going to have the most dangerous. He could either die in that hole, but at the same time, he could be the only guy to make it out if the shaft collapses. So they picked the guy that, like, had a kid on the way.
Interesting.
But yeah, so Juliette Binoche, she's, like, a really great actress. She plays, like, the sister of one of them. And one guy's, like, pretty much, like, homeless if he's not working in the mine, I guess. He's, like, a drunk. So he's, like, dealing with withdrawals, like, during this whole thing. And he's sweating, and they don't have any water, and... I heard that part was supposed to be played by J-Lo, but she turned it down in favor of American Idol. So...
Well, I guess she's making more money, but it's selling out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, there's, like, this is such a great, uplifting film. Like, there's so many great monologues and performances that just, like, almost make you cry, like, at some point. Like, every scene. Like, holy shit. Like, they're just trying to get their families out. And, like, Juliette Binoche, she's, like, she's like pretty much the main leader of the outside. She's like, bullshit. You're just gonna come up here, say you're doing everything you possibly can do, and then not get anybody out. And then they're like, well, how many people have you gotten out of these situations? And they're like, none. like the one guy is like, I've seen 5 collapses and we've never saved anybody. So there's no protocol on how to deal with this because we've never had a successful thing happen.
Oh my God.
So this was like a big thing in history, not only because of, these people like strength to survive, but also the fact that this is the only time it's ever worked.
When did this take place? How long ago was this?
I think it was like 10 years ago or something like that.
Oh.
I think. It shows like the real guys at the end, and it's like fun, like not to make fun of them, but they're all kind of like fat, and I'm just like, well, at least they're like well fed now, because like in that cave, it shows them like all starving, like down to their ribs, and I wonder if that was like movie magic or if like they actually went on some diets. Maybe. Like Lou Diamond Phillips, like I've seen him in that show Longmire. He does not look that skinny in that show. Mm-hmm. And Antonio Banderas, I always thought he was just kind of like a normal actor. I've never seen him in anything that was like I think Zorro, when I think Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
But this movie was just pure acting class, Mm-hmm. And they're eating the last of their food, and like they just have this great scene where it doesn't explain why, but you get it while watching. Mm-hmm. And they're each having a daydream of their families with them, serving them like their favorite meal. Like somehow it's all light and it's like a nice table and they're all like having a great like party kind of. Mm. And it's such like a happy scene, and then the lights like fade and they're back to like their cup of tuna and water and like that's it.
It's crazy. But
we've seen like so many, I think this show has had more true story movies than anything. We had The Walk, we had Black Mass, The 33.
Well, that's the thing is that, like, we've talked about it again and again, is that Hollywood has fallen into this rut of remakes, sequels, or true stories. Original content, just like some original story that someone made up in their freaking garage is not catching on.
I think
right
out
now.
of all of them, though, this was the one that needed to be made.
Oh, yeah.
So these miners could get, like, what they deserved. And I guess they tried to sue the company, and they were found not guilty of criminal negligence.
The company was?
Because, well, I guess, like, if that part was true, Lou Diamond Phillips, like, showing the foreman, the minerals, it's just his word against his, because there was never actually any paper. There's no paper trail to prove that this mine was falling apart, I guess, even though somebody caught it in the movie anyway. But I never seen, like, the whole Juliette Binoche is just like leading this faith, behind this fence that they're like threatening to shoot. She's like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot us all? They'll only bring more attention to this and help our families get out." Mm-hmm. And Antonio Banderas says they're not gonna come look for us. This is a private mine. Or I'm sorry, Lou Diamond Phillips is saying this. He's like, "This is a private mine. Do you hear any drills? They're not going to look for us." And then Antonio Banderas is like, "Our families will dig us out with their bare hands if they have to. You're underestimating like the power of our families." And that, I think this whole movie is just like about faith and love. That's really all it is. But what an incredible story. Like, I couldn't believe it. I haven't seen like that. I think that might win Best Picture. I really do.
I hope so. It'd be
more so than anything I've seen this year. I'm thinking like The Revenant could, but that comes out in January, and I'm like, I don't know if that'll count. Is there like a fiscal year for the films, or
I don't remember how that works, because I've seen things that were in the ballot for awards that we couldn't have seen yet. You know what I mean? Like for the Oscars, I'm like, oh, that comes out next week. Cool.
Yeah. Save it for next year.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to think. This Lou Diamond Phillips was in something. Am I mixing him up with someone else?
In Young Guns?
He's just good. I like him.
He's a great actor. He was in Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
I think this was his best performance too. Like, everybody's like, there's so many scenes that are just, you couldn't make it up. Like, these actors were definitely feeling or trying their best to feel like how it really was. And you could see it like in their faces. And Rodrigo Santoro was playing, he was like really walking a line, trying to save face for Chile's like, you know, government. And he's like, what, like 33 dead bodies is a lot of people. Like, do you not think like anybody will hear about this? How do you see this as a positive by trying to sweep it under the rug, Mr. President? He's like, we got to go down there and show that we care. And at first they're like, man, fuck them, man. It's a private mine. They shouldn't have been down there. Like, really? But then he's like, he has to be the guy that goes down there and shows it like day 12, day 15, day all the way up. And he has to go down there and he's like, the drill missed, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know. And like eventually he's like, you know what, I don't even care if I don't have the authority to do this. I'm going to set up a little store. I'm going to set up a school for your kids so you guys never have to leave this spot if you don't want to. And you guys can be here for your families. This is as close as you can get, but I'll do everything I can to accommodate you. And there was something like 300 people for like their families in total, you know, like pretty much 10 people a piece. And you know, and well, one guy just had his sister and they did not have like a really good relationship, but then and she was trying to Skype him and he wouldn't do it. Like he was like, he didn't want to talk to her. And he's like, what do I say? Like, we've never been happy. And Antonio Banderas is like, this is your chance this is your fresh start. Just say you love her and like move on. And like everybody else is like becoming such a spectacle, and it shows this guy and Juliet, and they go meet by like the tents where everybody was sleeping, like on the family side. And like it's just a moment for just those two, and I thought that was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in a film. Like there was no words spoken. That's acting.
Yeah. That's good, man. I want to go see it.
Yeah, it was definitely... I like that more than The Walk, I gotta be honest with you. It's just...
Yeah.
As far as true stories go, I do not see how this doesn't win something. Or, like, comes very close. Like, it's just perfect acting. It really is. And what a story about corruption, capitalism. And then down below... heroism and these people just not giving up. 16 days. They're like, dude. They're like, they were down. They didn't have any food left. They were down till like 1 or 2 more days. They would have all been dead.
So what did they get? What did they send him down into the...
Well, so like they pretty much made like a mail chute eventually out of that one hole, and they would send them like liquid food, and then eventually they're getting like Nikes and stuff like that, and like they were like all sit. It sucked because then they were playing, even though they were technically safe and they were being well fed and all that, and they could see their families. They're still stuck down there. They can't get out. It's like being in jail. And
why did they send him? That's just. It seems so bizarre. It's like we know that you're stuck down there in that hole, but here's a pair of Nike Airs.
I know, and that was the thing. That was the thing. It's like they're realizing that. I mean, what Chilean actor or actress do you know? What celebrity? Can you name any?
None, yeah.
So in their country, they were the most famous people ever, and they were sitting down there like, "What are we gonna do?" They're like, we're gonna go from this like prison to a circus, and we didn't ask for either one. And like the main Antonio Banderas like gets like a book deal. And they're like, "Were you going to take this book deal and not give us any money?" And he's like, "At first I was. I'm not going to be honest with you. I wanted to provide for my family, but..."
Is in the hole?
They're in the hole, yeah.
Book deal?
Yeah. They're becoming celebrities. And like, the thing was, like, there was capitalism on the mind, and then they're trying to capitalize off the people's lives.
Oh my
and they're
God.
not even out of the hole yet. And that was like the biggest like bullshit thing I've ever seen. And that's what made this such a good movie, because they were not afraid to show this in a film. You know, like, you know, you guys
That's
like
funny,
really dropped
though.
the ball there, you know, Chile. I mean, you did help them get out, but gee, did you drag your feet the whole fucking way?
That's like if you know, like, what's it? Jody Arias is like on death row, and they're gonna kill her in
As
like
if they're
5
gonna
days,
sponsor her
and
or
then they
something.
come.
Yeah.
Someone sits down with her and says, "Hey, we want to give you a book deal right now."
You know, it was kind of funny because like they're all wearing like nice, like brand new, like basketball like clothes and stuff, and obviously light fitting because it's hot down there still. But like they're all living kind of as much of like a luxurious life as they can in that hole, and they're like, when we get out, like, god damn, it's not gonna be like hardly any better if we're just gonna be bothered our whole lives and that like still have to be minors, you know. But then I guess like like Chili's Wolf Blitzer like goes down there and he's like, Chili, you suck ass, you're gonna let these people die. And like the Chilean president's like, oh shit, that guy got a hold of this, so let's take care of him, let's get him out.
Oh my god!
But
I
like
might
the
go see
Canadian
this
drill,
today.
like it was they kept having to shut it down, and they kept having to make repairs on the drill, and it sucked because like every single day it was just like it was like being so close to something that you can't touch. And even though they were technically safe down there, you can't survive down there forever. Like it was a shifting mountain. It was gonna break and then collapse again at some point. And they thought that it was gonna happen on the way bringing all of them up, and then Lou Diamond Phillips. It was kind of weird, and I don't know if this was on purpose or if this was like really what happened, but they have like a really nice moment because he's the last guy to come out, and he was the one that didn't believe like anybody would look for him, and then he's looking at this like writing on the wall. He's like, 33 men were down here and God was with us. And then he like goes into the capsule and then it just goes to black, and then it kind of shows like all the real news footage of like the 33 miners made it out today, and like it's so crazy because it was a real insight to how shitty media is. Although it does do good to help bring attention to things, it was only when they had a chance to make it out that anybody cared. You know? And then it was kind of funny because like it made it look like America was like doing something down there, and really they weren't doing a whole lot. And just the one engineer, and he was like, the Chilean government was like trying to ask him all these stupid questions, and him and Gabriel Byrne, and like, look, we don't have fucking time to explain our master's degrees worth of knowledge to you right now.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
need to be using it,
He's
right?
like, the drill is broken. We have to take a magnet to get all that out before drilling. You can't drill into another drill. It's not going to work. It's only going to make things worse. It's going to take time, but it's going to take more time if you do it the way you're thinking you're supposed to do it, you layman, you. And it was
just drill through a drill.
So it was just like a bunch of confusion and corruption on the surface, and I don't know if it was just some sort of metaphor like that. And then beneath, it was just these people holding on. They're like, we'll make it out. And one guy, it was kind of funny. I think this was true, but it was kind of like a movie cliche, because he was like 2 weeks from retirement. 2 weeks to retirement. Damn. You know what I mean?
And he's like, I'm technically retired now.
I know. And then like, one guy, it was his first day. He was like from Bolivia. He was like a miner in Bolivia for tin, and he comes over for work, and they're like, we'll just eat the Bolivian if we run out of food. And he's like, huh?
Man, I'm gonna go see this today.
It was, dude,
like a
there's
good
no
movie.
way you don't come out of this movie with like a dry eye. Like, there's no way. It's great. It's something everybody should watch, really.
Yeah.
Out of everything this year, I would put that in the top 5 movies for sure.
Well, you heard it, folks. Straight from the Nick's
Horse's
mouth.
mouth.
There's a horse on our show.
Oh, that was a little over 2 hours, that one. It was a great... I wish I could just read the book, because it's called It's called Deep Dark Down, and I couldn't, like, all these, like, they wanted to give up, and like Antonio Banderas' like they wanted to give up on the first day or the second day. They're like, look, we'll just eat all the food and like hope that we make it out. He's like, no, you guys get like one bite of food a day.
Yeah.
Every other day. That's it. Like, we're gonna have to take our bodies to the limit here.
Damn.
But if we
Damn,
eat it
son.
all right now, we ain't gonna last a week.
Yeah.
And they lasted like 2.5 before getting any food.
Have you watched The Last Man on Earth at all?
I've seen like the first 5 episodes.
There was like one part where he gets like exiled from the group when there's other people, and they
I heard Will Ferrell is in it.
he was in for one episode.
Oh, nice.
For like 10 seconds.
Oh, really?
He was there, and then
He has like a heart attack or
Yeah.
something. She scares him. Wait, so he's not the last man on Earth then?
No, yeah, that's the joke of the whole show. Is that he thought he was, and that's what caused all this. But
Gotcha.
the funny thing though is that there was one moment relevant to the 33 is where he got exiled from the group, and they gave him like he's like here's a day's worth of food, and it should be good enough so you can make it to the next town and go start your own thing.
Oh,
and
nice.
then he's like all right, well I can just make this last, it'll be fine, and then and it's like 10 minutes later, and he just ate everything.
Everything.
He's just digging into the peanut butter, and he's like crying. He's like, "Fuck!" It's so perfect.
I think they were talking about like the roast of Charlie Sheen, and they're like, look at Charlie Sheen's ex-wife. The amount of men coming out of her look like a bunch of Chilean miners.
Oh man,
What? Yeah, that's definitely the flick of the week, man.
it is.
See that over anything. And the thing is, I heard Spectre is still beating it out, but that has got to be.
It's got.
I think that's the best movie of the year. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now.
That's
I mean,
just gonna
maybe
be
not
the
my
way it
favorite,
is, though.
but the best film as far as content, story, and how a movie makes you feel. Like this has got to be the one.
This just gonna be the way it's gonna be. The greatest movies are not gonna get the blockbuster.
Sure.
Sales, except for like a movie
this'll
like
last.
Titanic or Forrest Gump.
You know what? Oh, we gotta say something about that too. Is the music was like kind of close to Titanic at some points, and I was like really thinking about it. And I was watching Southpaw, the boxing movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
How was it? I've been
It was good.
meaning to watch
it was good. I think that's in the top 5 too. Believe it or not, I really do. It was a great film. But at the end of it says, thanks to our friend, or in memory of our friend James Horner, one of the greatest composers ever. Right up there with Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer. You know, James Horner. He's done like every film you've ever seen.
James Horner died?
James Horner died. He died like last year or early this year. What? I think it was early this year. And so that was the first movie. This was the last movie he composed.
That's
and
great.
It's this movie and Southpaw both have in loving memory of our friend James Horner.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was the last movie, and I watched the 2, and he captures environments with music so well. A boxing movie that has an Eminem soundtrack, you know, he somehow morphs a score around that. And then, he did do Titanic, huh?
Yeah.
That's why it kind of sounded like it a little bit. And Braveheart and Avatar, he's done so many. Yeah, this was like his last real score, I heard.
Or the Magnificent Seven.
Well, maybe it wasn't complete though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the IMDb trivia, so maybe they're wrong. It's kind of weird that IMDb would post that. But he makes all these like kind of desert like sounds and culture type music around the Chilean desert and stuff like that. And then he mixes it in with like the saddest music you've ever heard, and like these people are just doomed. They really are. Like had their families not made like a big stink about it, they would have just died. Because like the guards were blocking it. They're like, we have to contain this. We have to let no story out. Nobody says anything. And it shows a guy, I don't know if this was true or not. It could have just been a movie device, but it shows one of the workers outside. He's like, they're closing down the mine. I'm going to call the news right now. And all the families just truck up there, and they're like, do you know if our families are alive? and they start shooting at them. They don't shoot them, but like at the ground and in the air, like, get the fuck back, get away, you don't need to be up here. And then they're like, you're gonna have to shoot us all, man. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It was
That's crazy,
man. I haven't seen like in the last few years a movie like that good, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna look it up and go.
It's definitely a watch.
Maybe I can still catch a matinee today.
Probably could.
Did you? I've been seeing all my movies at AMC 30.
I watch it at Harkins. You know, I get the military discount for $7, and the drive to AMC 30 probably makes up that extra $2.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But seriously, friggin' that $5 and like some change.
Yeah.
For no discount at all if you catch a matinee.
Well, that's the matinee is actually the same as the military discount at Harkins.
Yeah.
So it's like $7.50 or something like that. Plus, I just like that theater a little bit better. So if you take into account the gas, maybe 50 cents more, but I'll pay that for the comfortable Harkins seats.
What kind of car do you drive, man? Jeez.
Well, it's like 20 miles.
AMC 30?
It's got to be at least 15.
From here to AMC is like 4 miles.
No way.
Yeah, not that far.
I don't know. I feel like it's so much harder to get to for some reason.
Whatever.
Maybe
anyways,
I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
In closing, the 33, great movie. Go see it, and don't see My All American. Please don't see that movie.
Don't bother.
Or if you want to see it, get it on.
Unless you're a Longhorns fan.
Yeah, if you're Texan, then you probably stopped listening to the show in the very beginning of the episode.
They probably, I don't want to say anything bad about Texas.
But if you
don't mess with Texas.
You don't mess with Texas, yeah. Do it bigger and better. They're already coming here, and I haven't even posted this episode.
You told them where we live, you idiot.
No.
God damn it.
Like triangulating our location based on the description of the theaters.
Triangulating.
I know where they're at in Arizona. But, don't see that movie unless you're going to get it on Redbox and skip ahead to about an hour and 20 minutes to when the movie decides to get remotely okay.
Cut off. Ooh.
Yeah. That was the Rudy part, because he got his leg cut off, and
Still
then
plays?
No, but he in the hospital. They're like, you're gonna have to heal, son. You gotta stay in the bed. You're not gonna go to the Rose Bowl or whatever. And he's like, I'm fucking going. So he got like crutches, and he was walking around with his stitches like tearing.
What the?
And he ended up going to the game and putting his cleat on to go out onto the field. His 1 foot.
What are we going to watch next week? Why don't we try and do that at the end of these shows?
Next week, bear with me.
I feel like it's something good.
I hope next week is something good. Tell me something good. Where's the list?
Just go to IMDb.
Well, we got our schedule.
I guess.
What's the next week's the 20th? The
Hunger Games and Legend.
I gotta go see Hunger Games.
Yeah, but you got to go see. Ooh, I get to watch Creed too, but you get to see Krampus. And
you got good movies. Macbeth is gonna be good.
No, I already know how it goes.
We're both gonna go see In the Heart of the Sea.
You get to see Point Break.
But you don't even want to see Point Break.
You get to see The Hateful Eight.
Goddamn right I get to see
you.
But you get to see The Revenant. So we're so freaking...
I'd rather see The Hateful Eight, though.
Really?
I'm going to have to watch both of them.
I think we're both going to watch both. But anyways...
You got to see something.
If you guys want to see...
I was supposed to see Trumbo, but I didn't think that was going to be that good.
But
you got to see Bone Tomahawk. They don't even have that playing anymore. So I have to wait now.
Well, yo fucked.
Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. You haven't seen any of them.
I'm going to have to... Well, I've seen the first
them.
one. I'm going to have to watch the rest of them.
The second one is probably the best. The second one is like a really good movie, too. That's I've read the books. And it's kind of funny because they made a two-parter out of the worst book, the last one.
That's weird.
But are they done with that now?
Hope
I mean,
so.
Harry Potter did it. Narnia, I think, did it. And what was it? Twilight? Yeah, Twilight did it. So now, are we at the end of Divergent? Might fucking do it. God damn.
They did. They already the trailer.
Are they really?
Look the part,
like these tween books movies, the 2-parter final sequels.
They're just squeezing
It is
like
a
profits
thing now.
out of that.
You know, I wish I had a shorter word for it, but the 2-parter final film between book based upon films.
They turn the third movie of the trilogy into a third and a fourth.
The only thing I'm looking forward to of something like that is the Avengers. The last one is going to be 2 parts, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Someday in
That's
like
sick.
20 years, they're gonna have movies where it's like the Avengers 15 Part 2 Chapter 1, and it's like divided into multiple
Well,
chapters.
you know what was cool is they did that with Kill Bill, and Kill Bill was actually just one movie.
Yeah.
And then I keep finding these other people like they should have made the second movie more like the first with like she fights 88 other guys. No, you don't understand. It was one movie.
Yeah.
They broke it down into 2 because your attention span sucks. That's
funny.
Nymphomaniac was not afraid to do that either. They broke it up into 2 movies. That, I mean, they have some content. I'll tell you what, but I've never seen better acting than in that movie. Christian Slater is in that movie.
Well, if for all you hardcore fans out there, if you want to see our scheduled movies for coming episodes,
Should we post that?
We'll
That's a good
post it.
idea.
It'll be posted and tagged to the top of our Facebook. So go check us out on Facebook.
What do you think about this Christmas episode? We do gifts, $5 or less, movie related, and we open them on air.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I already have mine for you. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
Wow.
I was like, I wonder if he'll do the same thing.
I'm flattered. All right. Well, we'll do that. Okay. Well,
we got Legend in Hunger Games and The Good Dinosaur and Creed the next 2 weeks.
yeah. And we're pretty
There's
planned
there's
out
another
to...
movie called The Secret in Their Eyes, by the way. It comes out like the 20th. I don't think it's that good. They marketed it so bad. It's got Nicole Kidman. It's got Julie, or what the fuck's her name? Pretty Woman. What the hell's her name?
Jennifer...
No.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, yeah. And Chiwetel Ejiofor, who just won Best Actor last year. And the guy from House of Cards with hair this time. And they've marketed it so bad.
Is this a remake? Look.
Is it?
The Secret in Their Eyes, 2009.
That?
A retired legal counselor writes a novel hoping to... No, that's different.
No. That's a foreign film. They got an 8.2 though. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
The Secret.
I'm just going to Nicole Kidman's thing, if I can even find it, because I don't know how to spell.
I think, does she have a K? That says Nickel.
God damn it!
Her name is not Nickel. Dime Roberts and Nicole Kidman.
Whatever. Well, anyways, this concludes our broadcast. You heard it here, folks. The 33, great movie. And By the Sea, we don't know. So, let us know. Go see it if you are in a state where it's playing. Go see it. Let us know.
Maybe we'll watch it and write like a little movie written review on our
Yeah,
Facebook page, Flick of the Week.
Yes, there will be more blog and Facebook stuff.
Plus, we've
coming.
been putting up a lot of news. I don't
Yeah,
know if you know that. That's news. That we have news on our page. So if you want to know trends, cool facts about movies and actors, latest things like Shia LaBeouf's like little dumb stunt he's pulling, you can look it up on there with some article behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
All right, folks. How are we going to end this one?
33 men were in this podcast, and God was with us.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flick of the Week. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Facebook, as well as Pinterest. And pretty much any provider of podcasts, I guess. I mean, we're everywhere. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you.